Hello again, twice in one day. Okay, so you'll need to have seen the video that precedes this before you step into this video. I want to address my I'm noticing that I'm filling gaps with so. It's happening a lot. I don't want it to happen. That was me just stopping it there. And let's play into the pause here. The previous video was supposed to be just a quick energy capture for the week, but it ended up expanding into quite a big field, which is feeling quite archaic. I've taken some of the key cards from the previous reading. Welcome back, by the way. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you're an existing member. It's Chrissy Sawyer here with part 2 of mending the wounded masculine. Is that what I called it? Wounded masculine. Last week, there was a ton of masculine activations going on in people who dance with the light, who work on their shadow aspects, and this is no exception. It's looking like the transformations that got facilitated last week are now rippling out into the collective and into this very old story here. I'm going to recap with the key cards from the last reading, which are priest energy and wounded child. And I've just checked my messages from one of my social media inlets to one of the people who asked me if I was a Christian to see if there was a response, and the response is it's a belief in Christ. And so I've gone back and said, and what is Christ to you? Okay, now I just want to put a trigger warning in here, because some people are genuinely religious, and yeah, I'm going to challenge that, and it might trigger you. Okay, so govern yourselves accordingly, and if it triggers you, look at that, because that is a light within you that might be ready to be transformed. And I'm really noticing on the word Christ, as I was shuffling a couple of other decks, is consciousness. Now, Christ consciousness, well, you're looking at it, it's flower of life, it's original blueprint. I was talking about the triangulation this morning, the bringing that indecisive 2 energy, the back and forth, into 3 energy, which is the divine blueprint. It is the flower of life. It is the singularity. Okay. And it's 3, so it's a feminine energy that is waiting to land in a 4 container. The 4 container is the masculine. And so it looks like there's another level of a masculine-feminine realignment going on here. So what is consciousness? Well, I think I asked what got wounded in the rise of religious dogma, and that one came out, consciousness, and that one came out. Crown chakra, your divine connection, your connection to source, to active intelligence. Call it whatever you will. Christ, God, Allah, Buddha. It's the original singularity. It's the highest expression. And that gets wounded in the two principal ingredients, in my opinion, of religion, which are or were shame and guilt and fear. Let's triangulate. Shame, guilt, and fear was the blueprint that got encoded throughout our religious history. And here we have, I mean, honestly, I can't make this up. This Saturn Capricornian, oh God, I feel heavy now. I feel like I'm wearing a yoke around my shoulders. Capricorn, I use Saturn truth. I use truth to injure that connection to divinity. So I use my power as a spiritual leader to wound the child. And again, look. Okay, you remember these? Yang, sacral, masculine, mending. And when I talk about religion, I'm talking about a never-ending story. 3710-1, which is getting ready to be rebirthed into a very personal connection with crown consciousness in the year of Corona. Corona means crown, okay? Okay, you're gonna have to guide me here because I'm feeling nervous about how deep I'm gonna go with this. So what I'm sensing into, so some other, I can't remember what this deck is called. So what I'm sensing into with these, my hair is all over the place today, sorry. Okay. So Cancer is, well, Cancer is a very loving energy, strongly connected to home and hearth, children, family. And that's coming in with the water element, which is sensory perception. That's priestess energy. That's the consciousness of the crown chakra energy. My solar plexus is going like that. Just opening that back up. So Scorpio transforms. Scorpio is, I think Scorpio is the death card, isn't it, in tarot? Death and rebirth. Okay. 5th house, creativity. And this creativity speaks to me through the wounded child, through the sacral chakra, through passion, actually, and the squashing of passion, in the hunting of magic and the demonization of magic. And this was considered magic for someone to have a conscious connection with nature, a conscious connection with their natural self, a conscious connection with what is true and what is concocted. So I go to the surrender cards. I mean, there's Capricorn in its shadow. Capricorn is about structure, and big picture what we're in is this Plutonian dismantlement of the Capricornian structures, the masculine paradigm, the shadow masculine paradigm, he who rules. Okay. So in the video that precedes this, I talk about the anointing of a royal family as representatives of God, whatever God is. I get a lot of Enki and Enlil energy around this, around the abuse of power. Feeling very nervous. Wow. Wow and wow and wow. So ego and fear. Okay. Ego and fear have been used as a tool of power. Fear God. To fear God is to rise in the ego. Ego again, Capricornian. To be a God-fearing member of society is to be egoically powerful, is to preach through that, through this shadow priest energy, the abuse of spiritual power. Because we're moving into a space of spiritual authority and spiritual leadership. And for now, let's keep it small with the self-managing leadership. And that will ripple out. Yeah, I'm being pulled to pack these cards away and let's just do a masculine reading because I want to see what comes in with the masculine. I'm just going to pause the video while I tidy my desk up. Bear with me a minute. Okay, so I've brought the masculine into the space to see what the current story is. And so we have the 10 of Cups in reverse, which is about not being able to access absolute contentment and harmony and love in every area of your life. It's such a beautiful card in the upright. In the upright, it's all the bowls full. In the reverse, it's feeling like the bowls are empty. And so I ask, what is preventing him from accessing his 10 of Cups? And what I get with this is indecision, but it's like an emotional indecision. It's not so much an emotional block, it's an emotional indecision. I get loss of power with this. And then the Ace of Swords, which is about clarity. That blinding truth that comes in. Higher mind coming into the body, which is followed by the moon. Okay, that makes perfect sense. There's the 2 of Cups. Is he can't get clarity on what is hidden. Moon is way under the water, and you know, we can look up and see through the water, but what we see is going to be moving and not fixed. Imbalanced reciprocity. 2 is also a number of balance, as is 6. 6 denotes the heart, so there's an imbalance in the heart to what is given and what is taken. So maybe he's given too much. I'm going to bring the feminine into this reading as well and see what comes out. Okay, let's bring the feminine in And let's see what's going on between them. Show me the feminine, please. Wow, that's now, then. So that card flipped. I'm going to bring that one out first. So the Queen of Pentacles is completely serene. It's like fulfillment in the material. Feels quite Taurian, like beautiful house, beautiful home, lovely, just really content and not without work. So it's almost like she's like, I'm there, I've got it all going on, I've got it all happening, I'm just holding space. But she's a bit nervous, she feels a bit nervous. It's like, if this card were animated, she'd be like sitting like this, like, it's like that energy, like peeping out of one eye. Wow, there's a conversation going on here. It's like she's saying, don't come to me in this way. Come to me like this. But she's still holding space. Okay. So he's still in his doubting what he has to offer. Okay. This is kind of the card of Midas, you know. Tell me more about this. Wow. I want to show you what I have. I want to show you what I have. I'm not really happy about doing that. I'm not happy that I have enough to bring, but I want to show you. And I'm tired of being alone. I'm ready to come forward. I'm ready to come out of the cave. There's so much of that going on, actually. Like in the last 2 or 3 days, people coming out of their cave. Okay, let's start asking some questions, please. So, what's holding him back? What part of him is wounded and needs healing, maybe? What part of him is wounded and needs healing? What part of the masculine is wounded and needs healing? That's a bit too many. Too many. Queen of Cups on the bottom. About his ability to sit in his emotions. Excusez-moi. I'm going to take these. More indecision. So 2 cups, 2 pence, indecision, going back and forth, going back and forth. Doubt. This is a paradigm doubt. This is doubt about what it is to be masculine. This is doubt about who am I if I show my feelings? Who am I if I go into that moon energy? What is correct give and take? Who's in charge? Okay, so balancing of reciprocity. Because he wants passion. Four of Wands is, sometimes it's like the marriage card. It's the 1111 card. It's the divine connection. It's the twinning. It's the partnership with this really young, passionate energy, this creative spirit, this dancing spirit. Okay. So what does the feminine think to that? This is how she's holding space. Wow. Wow. So she's harnessing her inner magician, the part that can alchemize and transform, transmute old energies. Because if the feminine is holding space for the masculine to come in and rest and get into his moon, the illusory energies that question his value, then she is absolutely surely using magician energy. It's harnessing cosmic force, spiritual energy. They're just light rays. It's all just light. Let's go back to these. So what movement can he make to get to his passionate leap? What movement can the masculine make to get to his passionate leap? Wow. Wow, the cards are all over the place now. Different energy. Make the offer. Make the offer. Well, that's really simple, isn't it? Yeah. Stop being such a wounded warrior. Very easy to say. Wounded warrior, very, very real archetype. Wounded warrior. Get into your Empress. This is the richness of life. It's the antithesis of the wounded warrior, this Nine of Swords, worrying. Let's just look, I mean, upright. She's guarding her land. Okay, she's in the 9, about to break through into the 10. 10 is where she puts her burdens down, or he puts his burdens down. The 9 is the end of the battle or the conflict. You could put this down. Oh, you can put this down now. You can put this down now. To receive this energy, it can be put down. Now, there will be a process to put that down. You know. Yeah, there's the process. King of Swords, is to rise above into the analytical mind, the logical mind, which isn't always a bad thing, because the logical mind can bring you into the here and now. And, oh, hang on, actually, I'm already in this. It's just this energy that's keeping me thinking. I'm in this past heaviness. I think there's going to be a lot of clearing and healing this week of the patriarchal masculine, because it's like he wants to dance in his passion. Okay. Right. Let's get some surrender cards. Okay. I'm going to do one for each as well. What can the masculine surrender to? God, you know, in the 3D, I want to say there's a part of me that believes it's harder to be a man than it is a woman. There's so much pressure on them. Competitive, egoic pressure to look a certain way and be a certain way. And yeah, I know that exists with women, but it's really hard in the masculine to carry the paradigm when all they want to do is break through into this Empress energy, passionate creativity to access that. So low self-esteem. Do you deserve success? Love and abundance, masculine. Can you set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem? Journaling will help to have a conversation with self-esteem, like a two-way dialogue, and just write it. Don't think about it, because you know you got the moon and the Empress here, you've got the Magician here. Go with what comes, write it down. Go with what, just stay in that flow state, in the higher mind of the King of Swords, so you don't get bogged down by, but why? Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that can't be true. That's just second guessing. Let go of that narrative. Just write down what comes. And what can the feminine surrender to? In this space, in this container, what can the feminine surrender to? Absolutely. So when you're in this energy, again, it's like the video that preceded this. I said, I trust, and I have no idea where I'm going. So that's letting go of the attachment to the outcome, because actually we're human, and the universe isn't. The universe is a, let's see it as a hard drive, which is full of every probability. So anything can happen. Anything can happen when you connect in. Remember, the first part of this reading was crown consciousness. That's it. Oh, I like that. Crown consciousness. That's the divine sovereign being. That's lovely. That is a lovely energy. Oh, okay. So we've got the masculine coming into this surrender card. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. That's the push, drive, strive program. I'm working hard. Really? I'm working elegantly. Okay. Let go of the results or your perceived results, because you can't think as big as the universe. Are you holding on too tightly to a desired outcome? Remember, last week we had the flexibility card out. And when we're attached to an outcome, we move into rigidity. And that becomes self-sabotage. Okay. Right, so I'm going to wrap this reading up. I hope it makes sense, but hey, if it doesn't, I can live with that. Yeah, it looks like he's in some kind of indecision about how to access his 10 of Cups, and the response is to make the offer. To make the offer. Okay. Okay. If he's not making the offer, it's because he's attached to an outcome. And when we're attached to an outcome, all that builds is fear of rejection. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's wrap this reading up, please. So what I'm getting with this is, don't talk through an old paradigm by saying the things you think you should say. This is about bringing the light in fact. There's another card that came out. So bringing the light in. What do you feel? Yeah, I know you want to be this and you want to be that, but what do you feel right now in this moment? What do you feel? I get the words frightened and tired. Make the offer. You know, and we've got in sidereal astrology, we've got the sun moving into Aries this week. So, and there's a Mercury placement that's significant, which is about communication. So I think this all is a precursor to that shift in energy that's going to happen towards the end of this week. So yeah, surrender your attachment to results. Yeah, how do you feel? Wow, well, okay, that was lovely. And above all else, trust yourself. It's not about trusting another person. It's always about trusting yourself. Everything begins within. This is the cathedral that we're building that will alter every relationship around us. But we have to trust this. We have to trust our intuition, not second guess ourselves, let go of the outcome. Okay, my people. God, I hope that made some kind of sense. Take care for today. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for being here. Lots of love. Take care.